So good morning. RCS messaging, yeah. Let's talk about it. The latest developments and opportunities for messaging operators. And again, thank you for joining. But first, I'll give everybody a quick minute to introduce themselves. Ruth, you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Ladies first. All right. My name is Ruth Kashomo, and I'm the founder and CEO of Celcom Africa Limited. We are an African company, and basically we manage messaging. So we offer solutions to enterprises, to organizations. That's what we exist to do. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ira?
My name is Ira Cohen. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for MMD Smart, which is a mid-tier aggregator carrier based in Israel, Europe, and Asia. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. And he's also my colleague, being a moderator here.
I forgot to mention, I'm also a native New Yorker, and let's go Knicks. The Knicks won the NBA championship, first time in more than 50 years. Knicks.
The Knicks. All right. Thank you so much. Emre?
My name is Emre. I'm SMS team lead at Biox, and we are a mid-level aggregator in the market. I am managing mostly operator connectivity and enterprise communications.
Okay, thank you. Michael?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Markin, and I am representing company Telecom Communications, who is also one of the sponsors of this event. In these 3 days, we are in wholesale voice SMS, data IoT, and eSIM, also helping companies to become MVNOs, and I'm the business partner of the company. Happy to be here. Nice to see you.
Thank you and welcome to you too. Fabrizio?
I'm Fabrizio. I'm the guy which always comes late to the panels. And when I'm not running to the panels, I'm the CEO of Horizon.
But you're always the first at the party.
Only if there is food.
Only if there's food. Thank you so much. Guys, just a quick thingy. RCS, RCS. What do we think about it? Just get some things, and let's see if there are some curveballs here. What is RCS? What do we think about it? Is it the fantastic new messaging thingy, or tell us?
I think it's the third probably iteration already, or even more in terms of like being in the news, I would say. It's kind of on and off. Of course, it's with the Android, but recently it became more with Apple as well. And therefore, this is probably, in my opinion, looks upon the way that it's an alternative to an SMS in a richer, broader spectrum of it, I would say, where it's more interactive and it can give more opportunities in terms of the marketing and reaching the customer and interacting with the customer. But again, it's still not as popular as the traditional way of communicating via text messaging yet. But maybe my colleagues also will expand on this and give more detail about that.
25 years in the business, Fabrizio. What's your take on RCS? What was it? How was it? And how's it now?
Well, once upon a time, it started as a good idea, but this was 15 years ago, I think. It had another name. It was Join, right? And it still didn't ramp up, and I think I said everything about it. No, without joking, let's be serious. Yeah, from technology point of view, it's a nice thing. Does the world need it? Not really. Does the world know what it is? Not at all. Is there a potential? Let's see, so with a lot of pressure, with a lot of, it will be a niche for sure, for the future. But at the moment, it's just a nice story.
So for you, SMS still the standard?
Absolutely.
Emre?
Well, I'm a sales guy, and I see this as a commercial perspective. It's a new dish in the menu. It will create diversity in the enterprise communication and in the customer's experience. So when it gets successful, I think it's good that we will have as much channel as we can so that customers can decide which one would interact more engagement, and we would have more options to showcase.
Okay. Have you been waiting for RCS?
I'll answer your previous question, and then I'll answer this one. RCS is the greatest missed opportunity in the history of the mobile industry. We've had a lot of missed opportunities, but this is possibly the greatest. Because I've been advocating RCS for 9-10 years at least, and speaking industry forums, etc. And we totally missed it in terms of the timing. By the time RCS really now is starting to become more popular this year, we're going to see a huge growth in RCS uptake. It's too late. WhatsApp is there, other business channels are there, rich business channels, and RCS could have been right at the beginning, native application in 80% of the phones without Apple, and we missed it. And to me, that's the biggest issue here. The problem is that now that we've had the early stages of adoption, now we're seeing like the hockey stick part of RCS. The question is, how do we bridge that gap between what it should have been, where it should have been, and making money out of it now? And that to me is the biggest issue. Yes, we've been waiting for RCS for a long time. No, we're not seeing revenue from it. And that, I think, and unfortunately, there should have been an operator on here too, because part of the drop ball was the operator, part of it was the way that Google took it and tried to bring it to market, and part of it was the fact that we as salespeople haven't managed to sell it properly to enterprises. That's part of it.
Okay. Well, does the long expected and discussed finally happening now for you? And how is it, from your point of view, progressing? This is the positive side of questioning, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Actually, nearly 2 decades later, after it was first conceived in 2007 by the operators and the GSMA, we can see some good strides, and you can see the momentum gaining traction. The biggest gap that is going to seal is the fact that the conversational messaging is mostly happening on the OTT platforms, and therefore people who want to have the conversation on the native messaging app, they have been missing that bit. So we are going to see people now rising to the occasion that RCS is finally here. I can be able to still text you and you receive it on your messaging app, and I can send you video, I can send you an image and everything. So, and of course, thanks to Google, after buying the Jibe platform, is almost the single most RCS enabler that you have right now. So it's enabling that, it's running with it, and people are taking it positively. So what I feel like now is you have almost 30 countries so far that are actively using RCS. So that means it's something that people have come to like, and they have adopted it. Yeah.
Okay, you say 30 countries adopted it, and you were talking about a hockey stick. But if I have 0 to none, then the hockey stick quickly comes. Or is that too pessimistic? You see my point?
Yeah, so
if it's catching up, it's picking up. Yeah, but picking up from 1 to 2 is 100% increase, right? That is huge growth, correct?
So we're seeing huge growth this year. We're actually seeing there's huge growth going on, and I said in the previous panel, a lot of it is opportunistic because in some places RCS is cheaper than WhatsApp business messaging, and so businesses are using RCS. For me, and this was again another missed opportunity, I was waiting to see what would happen with the World Cup. You have a billion travelers traveling to see this game. Everyone is glued to their screens all the time with the World Cup going on. It seemed to be the perfect opportunity for RCS to take a huge step. And I was waiting to see what would happen with it. And I waited months. Actually, the last 2 weeks, I began to see a change. There was nothing for 2 months. There was nothing in the month preceding it. Now we're seeing fan engagement platforms that are QR codes. Come here and you'll get an interactive. It'll help you get to the venue. We're seeing ticketing agencies that are using RCS links and then having a conversation about how to get there and how to pick up your ticket, etc. Now we're seeing some brands using it, and we're seeing particularly for sports betting. Some of the big sports betting platforms have really went into RCS, and obviously they were waiting because they weren't going to get a lot of uptick in the months preceding RCS, the World Cup. So that's an opportunity that's there. I think that we're seeing some things now happening, particularly with these platforms that I mentioned that we hadn't seen before. But frankly, if the United States isn't the pusher for getting RCS into the market, I think, which is where all of marketing basically in the world comes from, all the advertising comes from the United States as the base. If we don't see an uptick there, it's going to be a much slower adoption across the world, because we have to get marketing agencies using RCS. That's where the value is.
Okay, so it's their fault.
Yeah.
Yeah? No, just
Hockey
pinpoint.
stick, soccer, or football, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's
Because-
mixed metaphors. Yeah.
Because if you kick marketing, you know that this guy in his previous life, he was doing marketing still, actually, on a very big scale. So is marketing the problem?
That's an interesting, but I never thought about that. Yes, it's a problem because they need the right tools. Let's say in messaging, in business messaging, let me try to find it, because I never thought about it that way. So just put the things together.
So I made you think now for once.
Yes, because it's a very interesting question, because normally I just bash, and now you put me, okay, there, you shoot me. So let me try to how to get out of this dilemma.
Fabrizio's not used to thinking, by the way. in the
Yes.
past.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. So
Right.
let's say, how do I see the industry, our industry now? We are an industry which sells paper blocks, and then you have a few pencils, and the creativity is that you draw something on this pencil, and then you sell out, these papers. And that's, let's say if you are from an industry where you move, where you are a carrier, where you are in per transaction mode. But the marketing does not need paper and pencils, okay? Because they are creative, they need tools, they need things what they can build. What they need is a Photoshop, right? With Photoshop, they can release all their creativity. And in Photoshop, you have this filter, that filter, this you can do, this feature, and so on. So yeah, and I don't want to do advertisement because that's not the idea of panels, but you need tools like what we are offering, for instance, that the marketing guys can use these like they're used to Photoshop. But you have to teach them. And the nice thing is, when they understand, and if you have a creative which knows how to use Photoshop, not like me, which I can do a circle, that's
Well,
it.
I use it all the time, to make sure that is
Really
working.
good, really good. But then they are really artists, and this is embracing it. And then, no, it's not all the marketing, because if I think how complicated it is, to add a brand, and then you cannot do this message, and then you are not allowed to do this, and then you are limited, and then comes with WhatsApp with doing all the rules set. It's just too many obstacles. It's just not nice. That's what I love in SMS. You just send the message, and it arrives. Because we also, in our industry, we talk also about too much about fraud and so on, but it's a business opportunity. Let's focus on the real brands. A bank will not do fraud. You don't have to make a firewall for the traffic what the bank sends. Neither from Coca-Cola. Don't worry, you can trust them. But it's a little bit arrogant from the industry to tell to the Coca-Cola manager, which has 8 billion users, and customers, that we have to tell him how he has to do his marketing. It's arrogancy, pure arrogancy. They know it better, not we. But we put all the rules set, and this is also a blocker, So marketing agencies, yes, they need to have the tools, If they know it, then they could be unchained, but they cannot do everything, because then there are rules set on every operator different. That is again a blocker.
Okay, so it's so the marketing can blame the toolbox guy and the lack of education.
Yeah,
part of it. So you're building toolboxes, right? You have the toolbox.
we have the toolbox.
So what are you as a platform provider doing about it on the wholesale and on the retail side? How do you catch it? How do you promote it, or how do you educate it?
I feel like a priest. I'm on a mission. Put that, go out.
Looks
and,
good on you, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. Today, I put it off. But yeah, you have to go there. You have to educate. It's like 25 years ago, by the way. You have no idea how much deja vu I have right now. It's when I started the company 25 years ago with SMS. You know how many doors they were just closing? You say, that's for kids. SMS. What is this? All that I saw, and it's again, so you have again to go out, promote, show it, because simply the people don't know what RCS is. An agency, and they're well educated. It's not that they don't jump on trends. They don't know what RCS is until we are not coming them and showing them.
There's a different problem, I think, that we're not always aware of. I'm a marketing guy. That's my background is in marketing. The average person working in a marketing agency is in his 20s, early 30s. You talk to them about SMS. That's my grandfather's technology. They don't even consider it as part of a marketing mix. You come down with RCS, which is native messaging on a phone. They look at it the same way. They don't see this as a tool that they're going to write into a marketing plan or a marketing mix and to sell to their customers. They just don't see it. And it's not even about it's not about an education. It's about showing real value and what the value is, because otherwise it's not going to make it into the marketing mixes of any of these brands. It's just not going to be there. Because those people don't see it. They see TikTok, they see Instagram, they see Snapchat, they see whatever other trendy thing is going to come down the line. And that's where they want to put their efforts into, because those are the channels that they use.
I would add to this that we're all, besides that we're in telecom and we're professionals, knowing the technologies, we're still the same people who are just simple users. We use the same tools. We are ourselves users of any type of technology, including RCS, for example. So if we're trying to push it to somebody, we want to make sure that customers we talk to understand the technology, understand the benefit of it. Because if we ourselves kind of talking about it but not preaching it out, we're not going to convince anybody. And it's there, it exists, it was invented, it has a good use, but at the end, people have to believe in it, people have to understand what it is. And if they don't, and if they're young, and if they're using different channels of marketing that they're more familiar with, I mean, that's it. That's the key,
Yeah, but
I guess.
normally it takes off really quickly, because if it is, let's say, juicy and funky thing to do, to use and whatever, brands would immediately embrace it, use it, education or not. They will see the value in it immediately, because I think the largest mobile users are still the 14-year-olds, 15, 16, whatever, right? So that should be the issue. I mean, to me, it still sounds, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to the ice parlor and I want vanilla, stracciatella, or I was pistachio or whatever, or strawberry. That is RCS to me. It's another flavor of the ice cream shop. But tell me, if I'm wrong, or
Yeah,
convince
no,
me,
you're right.
please.
Yeah, you're right. You're right on this. And
wrong.
about the marketing agencies.
You're wrong. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm right and I'm wrong. Okay. Ruth, tell us, am I right or wrong? Help me. I want to understand.
Well, I do understand where you're coming from. It's just another flavor. It's just another channel that is going to be added. And having served the market for quite some time right now, a customer doesn't wake up in the morning and what they're asking is WhatsApp, Telegram, SMS, WhatsApp, whatever. A customer wakes up in the morning and they want certainty. They want to know, when I sent my package, was it delivered? If, for instance, I'm sending my kids to school, did they get safely? So whatever channels that are able to remove that friction fastest is what everybody would go for. So as we proceed, even where we are right now and into the future, I don't think it will be about the channel wars. It will not be about what can outperform what. It will be about what can be able to deliver that information when I want it, at the right time, and in the right context. Yeah, so I feel RCS, in as much as it is emerging, it will just be added to the number of channels that you already have.
And what is the difference with SMS?
Now, SMS already, there is so much that is happening with SMS. And if you talk of even the enterprises themselves, they have already built an architecture that supports RCS, that supports SMS, and that has maybe taken them so long. So whenever they want to deliver an OTP to me, what is available within their architecture is SMS. And the fact that it has a reach, like you can be able to reach nearly everybody who is using SMS, that is also a plus for the SMS. Now, just statistics shows that, like where I come from, Africa, only 28% of the people who own smartphones, leave alone having active mobile data. So if you are to go for RCS like all at once, it means you're locking out a big percentage. It's only maybe in North America, in Europe, in Australia, where we have maybe over 70%. Those are mature markets. So RCS can ride on the native messaging very seamlessly. But in other markets like Asia, South America, we have about 60%. So SMS is still going to enjoy that richness. The fact that it doesn't require data connection, it doesn't require you to have something extra for you to receive. It is already winning at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was right, you said. Tell me why.
I think you are right. Maybe in the future, but you might be wrong right now. But in the future, when AI,
He's afraid of me.
no, actually, both of you are right. But when AI interacts in the future, it will be just another flavor that AI will decide. I think.
So it will be an RCS Plus or what?
We are acting like this is SMPP version 2,
right.
but it is a rich communication. That's why I mean, like, we may need to change our vision on this.
All right.
This is my perspective.
Okay,
But
so
I'd love to
half
hear
right.
what you say. But
I'm
I don't
wrong.
want to debate.
Well, why am I wrong? Why is it not
Eric is wrong, everybody.
for the first time? This is a scoop.
You have a question?
Eric
Please, Celio, you have a question, please.
I have a comment on the ice cream analogy. So, go ahead. Yeah,
Just do it.
yeah, that's fine.
We don't have.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So,
Uh,
SMS is vanilla.
We-
SMS is vanilla.
Okay.
Thank you. Back to your ice cream analogy. SMS is vanilla. You can get it. You don't need to register for it. RCS is vanilla with your toppings. You can get it. You don't need to register for it. Every other flavor that you want, you need to give your number. You need to give your name. You need to register for it. So if you want to buy pistachio, then you need to give your information. For SMS and RCS, you don't need to give your information. You just get the message. Yeah?
Okay.
So I agree with him. I
Thank
hate
you.
I hate to call SMS vanilla. So RCS vanilla. The reason why you're wrong.
Toppings.
Yeah.
The reason why you're wrong is because it's native messaging. It's in the phone. It's the only one that no one has to download. It's there automatically with Apple support. It's in
Yeah, but
every.
since when do I care if it's already implemented?
Because that is a huge value that saves step. The reason why all those World Cup use cases that I was talking about are able to use RCS, because they don't have to register for it. It's just there on their phone without them doing anything. That is a huge monetary marketing value that unfortunately has not been leveraged. And that's the issue. And that's why it's not like another flavor. WhatsApp, someone has to download. TikTok, someone has to download. He's 100% right. They have to register. They have to give a name. RCS, you have a phone, you have a SIM card, you have RCS. That's a huge value that we're not leveraging.
I was
And that's why it's such a missed opportunity.
I'm talking from an end user point of view, not from the value which I can create because something is already implemented in a phone and I can make money out of it. I was talking about from an end user because I don't care if I have to download an app or whatever, or I need to give my number. And because actually SMS, what do? What do I need to register for my SMS? I get my SIM card. I'm done. I get my SMS.
I know with the years your memory goes, so I'll just remind you. You were willing to download WhatsApp way back when because you saw
Skype even.
Skype.
ICQ.
I didn't do Skype until my colleagues at work. We were at a conference somewhere, and they said, "Hey, let's talk on Skype." I said, "Well, we're in the same room, but we can conference on Skype. This is the school." Right? So, but until you see a value, you don't download the app. You have to feel an intrinsic value. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. Everyone's afraid of having too many apps on their phone and getting a bug with notification. So with RCS, you don't have. There's no issue. It's. We were talking about marketing agencies. We don't market to the marketers about this intrinsic value of you being able to get to new users who you've never been able to get to just by using that native messaging.
A trouble-free end customer approach you have. That's what you're saying.
We're all in business messaging. We sell to businesses. That's where the value is that we have to find. Yes, there has to be value to the person who's holding the phone in their hand, but we only get to that customer by convincing our enterprise customers to use it. And that's where we fail.
Let me put a little bit Tabasco and habanero sauce in this
On the ice
mix
cream.
here.
I just
okay?
want, I just want my
Because,
Choco dip on it.
Yeah, because I think,
And I'm looking for it.
guys, I think you put too much intellectual power in this discussion now. Downloading, not downloading. What's the point? I have, I don't know, a zillion apps on my phone. It's a click away, bang, done. I agree fully with you. The kids have a problem to download Instagram, TikTok, Instagram,
course not.
Facebook. I know, okay, they don't
If
do
it's
Facebook,
a hype,
we do.
they go for it.
Yes, and I think I mean, I understand exactly what you mean. It's already there. Yeah, fine. Okay, the battery also. Thanks God, don't have
But
to
for
buy
the
a
end
separate.
customer, that doesn't make any.
No, it doesn't. And at the end, we in our industry, you know, we when I discuss very often with people in this industry, they try to predict the future based on their behavior and their industry. But we are fishermen, and we have worms. I don't eat the worm, you know, because the fish has to like the worm, you know, the fish I want to catch, right? And this fish likes this one, the other fish another one, another channel. So we have to provide channels where the consumers are. If they are on Instagram, we don't have to educate them to use Instagram. They have it. We want to address
And
it.
they were
but,
happy to download the app, right?
So whatever they do there, you know, so let them give the preferred channel. And not to, let's say, find intellectual reasons to justify that we are now in this industry, you know, and try to push this RCS. If the user want to use RCS, fine, then it's great. Then let them use. But if he chooses,
And they will find it.
and they
anyway.
will find it. I mean, of course, at
They
the
will
end,
find it because it's on their phone.
I mean, you know,
No, they're bombarded because it's on
Yeah,
their
yeah.
phone.
Of course, sometimes
It's not a choice.
I love being the devil's advocate in panels. by the way.
And I like to throw curveballs here in this panel session.
But you know, of course, sometimes in industry shows so many times that the user sometimes does not know what they want, right? I mean, that's perfect example from Steve Jobs saying, "I don't care what the people want. I will tell them what they want," right? So I understand that mechanic as well. That we can push channels, make it more attractive. You know, that you can. I mean, at the end in marketing, you know, it's demand creation. You know, let's try to create this demand. But to see an advantage that it's already installed, this is old school. I think this is not a valid argument anymore, from my point of view.
And is it
You're
true?
wrong.
And is it true, Ruth, that it might also, just thinking out loud, but I mean, Africa, 1 billion plus, right? Asia, 2 billion plus, sorry, 3 billion plus, right? Not like, let's say, the US and the Europe markets, right? Is it not that they want to get that market and hopefully that and shop all the smartphones in those countries, in those territories, to make sure that the people are connected, that they want those as customers as well? Could it be that mean thought behind it? Or would the people actually, especially in Africa, that billion plus, that huge market, would they be welcoming, let's say, the RCS? What do you think?
Yeah, good question there. What I think is any technology or what you call adoption of any technology doesn't happen because that technology is better or it's pleasant or anything, but it happens because the ecosystem aligns. So we should be asking ourselves, what are the ecosystem drivers of RCS? Google is trying as much as possible to drive that with the Google messaging.
They were not very successful with this.
They were not successful first because Apple was not part of it.
Yeah, but
And
Apple is only, I mean, how many
ver-
Androids are we selling and how much is it?
75% actually
There you go.
of Androids are in the market. But I'm trying to look at it from this point. If there is that big giant, Google, that is trying to drive that, the OEMs are already playing a part in it. Samsung, for instance, is the go choice phone in the African market, and Vivo and Oppo and all that. If all of them come with Google Messages, by default, you're also going to receive the RCS if you have data.
Exactly.
Yes,
And is that the purpose?
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, we have Saleo again over there. Hit us.
I'll be quick this time. How about Jaco? I believe you're mentioning Google as if they're part of the solution. To me, they're actually part of the problem, because RCS, if it's centralized by an entity, Google or whomever, then it becomes another WhatsApp. RCS is based on a telco standard. It should be free for all to use, not depending on Google Jive. My 2 cents.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to respond to that, sure, it should be free, and maybe that's what in the intention of Google has been. But the network operators, they are restricting that because they feel like then our revenue from this SMS is going to be cannibalized altogether.
Yeah, but the network, the MNOs.
Like where I come from in Kenya,
Yeah.
Safaricom and Network, Airtel, which are the biggest network operators, they have already restricted RCS. So even when I have a Google enabled phone, I can't be able to send an RCS to another person who is equally on the same network.
Okay.
Yeah, they have restricted that altogether.
Okay. Very interesting. Might be for a very good reason. Might not be. Let's see. I understand they want to protect their revenues. I got that. I got that part. Michael, your thoughts?
Sometimes I get the feeling that a technological giant invented a technology but cannot sell it. What it means is,
They didn't invent it, they bought it.
well,
They bought it. Yeah.
now it looks, but the perception is right that they sort of
Oh,
invented
that marketing part they did correct.
Right. So what I mean is that when somebody's really tech savvy, they don't really have the ability to sell sometimes. Sometimes the other part is when somebody's not that tech savvy, but they can sell. And they sell a product without knowing the technical intricacies. A lot of times, a lot of companies build technologically difficult products. They can do everything. They can make you coffee, they can drive your car, they can do everything. But the consumer maybe just wants one thing. And maybe that's where also the downfall at the moment is, because people just don't understand the benefit of it. Maybe like that. At least that's my personal thought.
Emre?
Well, maybe like the telcos are seeing Google that they brought the technology, but it's another plate in the table. They have to. There is no revenue right now that we cannot compare it with the SMS. But even though like they need to, I don't know, it's some kind of partner for them. So it might also blocking the ecosystem for RCS, which is preventing them to expand into the different markets. For example, I don't know the penetration of the RCS right now throughout the world, but
How much are we talking about? Penetration?
1.1 billion.
1.1 million.
Okay. 1.1 billion, that's the volume. I want to do the
About 10%
percentage.
of the world mobile population.
No, and how much in messaging? How much of the pie of the full messaging?
15%
15 already. 1.5.
this year.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And I'll add something to it. I actually heard this from, shout out to Nick Lane and Mobile Squared. I heard this from
Oh,
them.
Nick, you will bring Nick in again.
75% of global world RCS traffic is going to be in China next year. 75%, because the Chinese government basically made it mandatory. So every phone in China will be using RCS as native messaging. And the operators there have to do it because they're basically owned by the Chinese government. And so when we're going to look at these huge numbers of growth in RCS, it's going to be a little distorted because there are other reasons behind. And I mentioned opportunity in the previous panel. This is an opportunity that RCS has been given, actually, not actually taken. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
All
okay.
right.
It's okay. But it will be an inflated growth, I think, because China has already some kind of super apps, and they most probably need RCS. But WeChat is Tencent centralized app. Now they want telco centralized some kind of super app. So I think it would be a good opportunity for RCS, and I would be excited to see like where they will take it from and where it will land once they finish the implementation in China.
Still, I have the feeling that RCS is squeezed and pushed towards us.
Given that Google is restricted in China, by the way.
Oh hell
Yeah.
yes. They know what they're doing there in China.
Maybe I'll add something about the challenges of selling RCS to an enterprise customer. So if you're let's say you're in Germany and you're selling to a German company, it's fairly easy. All the operators support it. The pricing is more or less stable. There's no issues with it. It's really easy to sell to a German brand to German customers. It's
When
very
they
easy.
together have dinner for schnitzel,
Exactly.
probably, right?
With the ice cream and the hot sauce, yeah. So, yeah, it's so that makes sense. But when you're talking about an international brand that wants to sell it across borders, it becomes really complicated. Because in some countries it's totally not supported. In some countries it's supported by one of the three operators. In some countries it's supported by two of the three operators. And the brand says, I want to send to all of my customers. And now I have to make an RCS campaign. Plus, I have to make an SMS campaign because the RCS campaign is not going to go to 50% of my customers because there's no support by the operator. It becomes really, really challenging. And I think that fragmentation is where most of the challenge is for RCS to take off even more. Again, geographically within one place, great. But when you go cross-border, it becomes extremely more complicated. And I'm not even talking about the issues, and there are still issues with the regulatory and the approval processes when you're going cross-border campaign. So you were talking about challenges. These are challenges that can be fixed. These are not insurmountable challenges. Unfortunately, and I'm going to, again, bless some operators, but unfortunately, the operators aren't really doing what they should be doing here with this. And operators have not seen their investment from 5G come back to them and say, well, another technology we're going to invest, we're going to wait. And so it's just not happening the way it should have happened. And I understand some of the hesitation. And I know that there were boards of some of the big operators who said, really, RCS is going to cannibalize our SMS traffic. They're not saying that anymore because SMS is going down globally because they didn't prices or whatever. So these are fixable problems. It's just who's going to do the fix. We as aggregators, I guess most people in the room, we can't fix it. We sell it, but we can't do the fixes. We can suggest the fixes, which is what we're doing all the time, but it doesn't mean it's going to get fixed.
Still sounds like a huge challenge. So where does it end? I mean, what's your prediction then for RCS? I mean, you sound like a big believer with a lot of challenges.
Yeah. Me again? Okay.
No, yeah.
I was involved in a couple of technologies that we all use in our phones every day, and the biggest challenge to one that we had was probably Bluetooth at the time, because the business case was a little bit difficult. And if you remember at the time, he'll remember because he's old, like the rest, he's old. We used to have to wire up our cars in order to be able to speak on the speakerphone. You would have to go into a shop for a whole day. They'd pull off the upholstery on the things and
Car kit.
put
They put the car kit
the
in.
wires in, put an antenna on top. So that seemed to be a great use case, right? So let's sell that use case.
I made a lot of money with that, by the way.
What?
I made a lot of money with selling those car
car
kits
kits, yes.
in the old days.
Exactly
Fantastic.
the problem. Economically, it meant that a lot of people were going to lose a lot of money because there were all these shops that were just doing car kits. So challenges can be surmounted if the right people put their heads to it to fix problems. I'm a believer. I'm also an internal optimist, even though I always sound pessimistic, but I'm an internal optimist that things can be fixed. And I don't agree with you about being intellectual about it, because you have to think it through. And you have to think it through not just about what makes sense for us as businesses, what makes sense for the end user, but what makes economic sense. Because in the end, it's always going to be economic models driving changes. The greatest technology in the world didn't happen until they made economic sense. RCS makes economic sense if the operators don't price it through the roof, like some of them have already been doing, and if they can leverage the fact that it's native in the phone. And again, I'm going to use the World Cup use case that I just had. The fact that all these people from all over the world are now seeing RCS messaging on their phones when they land in the United States is because it's native to the phone. And that is a huge value that we have to figure out how to leverage it properly.
Leo, question.
Sorry again.
No.
Yeah.
I love it.
To your point about the example of in Germany, it's easy because everybody has it, but then some
And the
other
schnitzel
countries-
part, don't forget this one.
Sorry.
And don't forget the schnitzel part.
The schnitzel and the Tabasco sauce and the ice cream. So the way to solve this issue is to democratize RCS, right? And every single aggregator should have an RCS application server. Every single operator should have an RCS application server, and it should not depend on any single company, Google or otherwise. That's how you actually make it. Everybody has an SMSC or an SMPP gateway or something to that effect, right? That's how you actually make it universal, barring the device limitations, but that's a separate conversation. So that's how you get around it.
All right.
You should be on our panel next year.
He even had a,
Sign up with Eric afterwards. He's taking
Well,
applications for next year.
2 days ago, he was doing his keynote speech here on stage here. So, yeah,
Oh.
wake up, follow our agenda. We're here, man.
It's been a very sleepy 2 days. Go.
Colleague. Anyway, guys, looking at the time and the lunch is around the corner, and I think it's quite interesting because sometimes I like to initiate more of not a fight but a boxing ring, which is nicer to have different opinions and different things to hear, because this is what panels are about, to discuss with each other. So, a closing statement.
And,
Please, from you, if you want to start.
Yeah, sure. Just picking it up from the networks, where I feel like they are in a dilemma, because when OTT platforms were first launched in the market, they just thought it's another thing that is going to ride and it's going to go down. But with time, you have seen revenues dipping and dwindling, especially on the P2P and on the A2P, because WhatsApp, what it's doing is owning the customer journey. So you can be able to go to to Facebook, you advertise your business, and then you pick it up on WhatsApp and you have a conversation. And they have also tried to adjust their prices. So then the operators are feeling if we don't go with the RCS, the OTT platforms are going to continue rising and people are going to love them. So they have to actually, they will be forced to adopt this as soon as possible. Otherwise, they're going to be maybe the network data providers, for instance, and with all that is happening across the world, Elon Musk will be looking at them from space and like, oh, I can see what you're building, and even that revenue is also going to die all the time. So it's good that they just pick up the conversation and know what exactly they need to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Emre.
Yeah, we were talking about the challenges, and I think that these challenges are welcome, so we can still sell the solutions. And when it's come to the channels and the RCS, I think the most successful companies, like the telco companies in the future, that doesn't use the single channel, but knows how to properly orchestrate the multi-channels, I would say. So this would be my point of view, and I think RCS will be one of the most strong channels in the future as well, once we reach the level that we want on that.
All right. Ira?
I'm the eternal optimist. I think that we'll figure out how to fix the problems. It depends on, I guess, how many more countries are going to begin adopting RCS within the next 2 years. I think that if we don't see 50% of the market adoption within a couple of years, then Google is just going to take it away from the operators, I think, because they waited too long. It's a great advantage to have the native messaging app, but in the end, Google's a pretty dominant force in the world, and they could be pushing for everyone to download their RCS app, even if it's not a native messaging app. As you said, maybe that's the best way to go. My problem is that if I look at a 2 to 3 year timeline, there will be a disrupting technology that comes in and messes this all up and mixes up the pot. He was talking about TikTok business messaging. There'll be something else. It doesn't matter. We can't predict what that will be, and we also can't predict what the outcomes are when something else comes in and mixes up the pot. None of us saw AI within 3 years becoming the dominant force that it is. 3 years ago, this same event, no one was talking about AI. No one was talking about it. Boom, it came in. Now there's everything. And AI will make the tools so that you can build an RCS campaign within your engagement platform without having to hire someone to do it. And those are the possibilities we have in the future. But again, we can't see how this disruptive technologies are what will disrupt the progression that we see. As someone said, we can't foresee the future. We can only try and be intellectual thought process about it in advance.
All right. Thank you. Michael?
I kind of see it so far as one of the channels still, because this is where we are at this current moment. At the same time, everybody usually follows some kind of a successful leading strategy from somebody who became successful and made more money, for example. And if that's going to be the case with RCS, there will just be more followers doing that, hoping to make more revenue from that. And therefore, that channel will expand. For how big, nobody knows. You said exactly right. If somebody might come in and just break the whole thing and just introduce something new. But for now, we're looking at different flavors, different channels, and if somebody can leverage those and cater to those who like WhatsApp, cater to those who like TikTok, the rest of the people can do the RCS or SMS. That's so far what's going to happen in the next few years, in my opinion. And then we'll have to gather in this room again in probably 2 or 3 years and have the same topic and see what happens.
And then I will say, I told you. Anyway, famous last words. Your takeaway. Fabrizio, please.
I would like to bring some intellectual power in here now.
Finally.
Because
Finally.
Ira is saying I don't have it. So please, in the
Boxing
audience, and now be careful.
I love
look at that.
Fabrizio. I think Fabrizio is one of the smartest people that I know.
Ira, you had your shot. You had your shot.
Now I'll dismantle you. Listen, dear audience, who has Teams installed on the phone?
Unfortunately, I do.
Who has Zoom installed on the phone?
Yes.
Who had Skype installed long time
Still.
on the phone?
Not working,
Okay.
but still.
I'd say who has WhatsApp installed on the phone? Okay, the last one. Who has Viber installed on the phone? Ira. So many alternatives to the green button to make a voice call. Pre-installed still. Everybody is not using the dominant GSM button, to make the phone call. They use apps. So, and the other message, what I would like to tell you is enjoy the moment, because in 3 years, I will tell 20 messengers and applications more to come. So we should enjoy the moment we are living in, because never again we will have so little amount of channels like today. So this is the channel what we have in the future. So the stake of RCS, very difficult one. It will be a niche, but it will not be the superpower.
But it will be.
One of mine.
Thank you, Fabrizio. But it will be put through our nose because it's already pre-installed on our phones. And that is the purpose, to get direct access, not indirect access, but direct access. And that's what I don't like, direct access to me and to myself. I rather choose, I want this one, or this one. But I'm afraid that it will be inevitable in our digital world, and we haven't seen anything yet. And AI is one thing, quantum computing is the next one. And trust me, we will not even keep up with the speed. It's impossible for us human beings, unfortunately. But please, everything fine, but let there be at least a little bit still of human intelligence there.
Every time you say intelligence, you look at him.
Yeah. AI.
It has a reason, bro.
Ira. AI, full AI, analog interface. You see?
And on that note, I would like to thank Care Community for keeping us here busy on this on this platform. Actually, here, I want to thank Ira for being my co-moderator.
You're a devil's advocate.
I am, you know me. And I would like to thank, of course, the audience for being here and staying with us, listening to us, and also, and foremost, my panelists, because they bring, by the end of the day, the expertise to it. And I hope you listened in. And for all the viewers out there, love you. Ciao for now. And guys, lunchtime.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks.